In 1998, the Powerpuff Girls were unleashed into the hearts of fans when Professor Utonium decided to cook up 3 perfect little girls in his lab, which is not problematic at all. It was a different time. Sugar, spice, and everything nice were all thrown into the pot. Flowers, nice. Stuffed unicorns, nice. The Jeffree Star makeup palette, not so nice. Go get rid of that. But it was missing one thing, and that was Chemical X. Wait, what? That's what it was missing. Could it be a live action adaptation? Powerpuff Girls was an animated show at Cartoon Network. I guess technically it was sort of a Hanna-Barbera and Cartoon Network hybrid, but with all the acquisitions through the years, it can get confusing. Just know that Powerpuff Girls was a legendary show, and then Hollywood said, how can we ruin this? The Powerpuff Girls has suffered the fate of many popular shows and movies, and at this point has had several animated remakes and reboots, but has finally graduated to the level of live action adaptation. And surprise, surprise, it's not that good. You know a reboot is bad when CW, the place that made Riverdale, said, nah, this is too much. Weirdo. But what if I told you that once you break things down and get to know some of the things behind the scenes, it all makes a little bit more sense? Well, it explains some of the choices that were, it contextualized, just watch my video. The Powerpuff Girls were created by animator Craig McCracken, with the show centering around 3 little girls with superpowers, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, who lived in a fictional city called Townsville. You know, 3 girls with the same first letter in their name? Every parent should be proud. I mean, it could be worse. He could have gone the names that rhyme route.
Nikki! Here! Ricky! Present! Dicky!
But this show is a huge part of animation history. It's largely because it was made during what many would coin the golden age of Cartoon Network, where they were largely creator driven and they had a knack for creating shows that had this alternative edge to them. I mean, the Powerpuff Girls were basically these cute and adorable little kindergartners who could beat up full-grown adults. I mean, it was the best of both worlds. The Powerpuff Girls actually started before Cartoon Network when Craig was a student at Cal Arts. For his animated film, he created a short called Whoop Ass Stew, which featured a trio of girls called the Whoop Ass Girls. He came up with it, not me. He submitted his film to Cartoon Network because I guess you could just do that back then, but Cartoon Network ended up liking it, but it needed a few changes. One of those being a change to the name.
And Mike Lazo, the creative head of Cartoon Network, was at this cable buyers conference. He said, yeah, we're making this new short called the Whoop Ass Girls, and some cable buyer or somebody stopped him and said, what?
What I find hilarious is how they didn't come up with the name for Buttercup until later. It's like they gave up third of the way through, like nobody would notice the third one.
You and the girls have such cute names. Was it a special moment when the professor named you?
So, we have Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, because it also begins with a B.
Next question.
Craig and his team went on to create the pilot called Meet Fuzzy Lumpkins, but it didn't go as planned.
I'm gonna be sick!
Peter Puker, age 11.
Whoever made this should be fired!
Mitch, the evilest child in the world, Mitchelson, 5.
But they decided to greenlight it anyway. Sure, kids thought it sucked and they think the girls look like weird bug creatures, but what do they know? They're just our target demographic. I do kind of like the alternative designs though. It kind of looks like the style that Billy and Mandy will end up utilizing, but these designs for the Powerpuff Girls have become iconic, so they definitely made the right choice. And like they said, the kids may have reacted this way because at this time, there wasn't much that looked like this yet. Craig had just finished working on Dexter's Laboratory, and so much of what him and the crew learned was utilized in Powerpuff Girls, which only helped it as it became a roaring success for the network, going on to have 6 seasons and 78 episodes. So what happened? I want to first say that I think the shift that we saw at Cartoon Network is not really on the creators, but more on the leadership at the company. In regards to Powerpuff Girls, notable leaders like Fred Siebert and Mike Lazo were figures who propelled this type of storytelling that appealed to both children and adults, with Mike even going on to head Adult Swim. And even when Powerpuff Girls ended, we even got a Japanese anime called Powerpuff Girls Z in 2006. And to be honest, I didn't really watch this show, so I don't know if it was good or not, but the designs do look cool though. But what does the Z stand for? In 2016 is when we hit a low point for the Powerpuff Girls legacy. This transition is very similar to many other popular shows. Teen Titans became Teen Titans Go, Ben 10 became this. What was going on in 2016? Oh yeah. Now, I primarily blame this on the success of Teen Titans Go, which was released in 2013, and it was pretty successful with many little kids binging the show like a 2-liter bottle of soda. I blame the parents. And I have nothing against the creators of the show. Again, the responsibility was on the leadership and executives, because not even considering the design approach, the storytelling was such a tonal shift from what the original did so well. The 2016 reboot focused on trying to be so modern that it lost sight of what made the Powerpuff Girls so popular. I mean, making the show a huge internet meme and appealing to cringy trends was just disrespectful. The animation style also did not help either. The original show was very inspired by Hanna-Barbera and UPA and was already utilizing a somewhat limited but efficient animation style that actually pioneered the affordability of TV animation, which Hanna-Barbera was known for. However, updating the style to what Cartoon Network was adopting at the time while also trying to maintain the character designs of the original show just further pushed the awkwardness off the charts. They didn't even bring back the original voice actors, which is insane because Tara Strong, who voices Bubbles, is like 60% of the cartoon voices out there. And the show got a lot of hate online. To be fair, I think that most people just refuse to comprehend that while they would love that the original fans liked the reboot, they are primarily trying to get new, younger fans to profit off of them. I mean, it's capitalism, so don't hate the player, hate the game, or something like that. And that brings us to this mess. Now, I'm actually in the minority in that I kind of see the vision here, the CW vision, where this is a Riverdale-esque spin-off of Powerpuff Girls, with teenage girls subverting expectations and showing what it would really be like growing up in a world like this. But the thing is that Powerpuff Girls is already subversive, remember? So you literally don't have to do anything to make it more subversive. I like the aging up of the characters. I honestly think that would add more to the characters and show how they do more stuff as just normal girls, but the tone of this is all over the place. And I think it could be the influence of the writers, where Heather Ziegner, who worked on things like Veronica Mars and iZombie, and the famous Diablo Cody. Now, I actually like some of Diablo Cody's work, and you can see how she may have been a good consideration for this. I love Lisa Frankenstein. Of course, Jennifer's Body is a cult classic, but she hasn't really shown that she can adopt something from animation to live action, which is proven at this point to be really hard to do and get right. The leaked script read like it was written by someone who saw one episode of Powerpuff Girls and said, yeah, I get it, but I want everyone to remember that this is what pilots are for. We want pilots to be made because they are quick and they give you a good idea of what the show could be like. It's a good experiment like Powerpuff Girls originally were. But what do studios not get at this point? I know you're trying to put a new flair on things, but audiences have showcased over and over that when it comes to remakes and reboots, they just want the same thing, or at least something similar enough. I mean, you want to bank off that nostalgia points, give them something to pine after. And it's not Bubbles selling something out of her car trunk on the sidewalk of some random street in LA. Why is it always Bubbles? But showing a mature adolescent version of the Powerpuff Girls could have some potential. I had this random thought where they could also, as they age up, lose their powers, so they could be dealing with that and battling that as well. You know, to make it interesting. At this point, Hollywood should legally have to pass a do not ruin test before touching classic cartoons. It's really hard to see studios run their properties into the ground like this. It's almost like they don't know what they have or how to use it. And it's unfortunate to see animated classics like the Powerpuff Girls be used as pawns in this game of IP chase. But maybe this is the only way they can keep these ideas alive, and I get that, because the Powerpuff Girls really do have the potential to live and be relevant in any time period because they really can do it all. But those are all my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that the live action version of Powerpuff Girls could do really well? Or are you, with most people, wondering why are they ruining popular shows? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Bye!